My name is Samuel. I'm one of the co-founder for EmSociety. So EmSociety, right, it's something special to me and all this as well because it actually came from a dream. Like when I mentioned dream, right, it's literally a dream. I woke up and everything. Yeah. That so I always think of it as a message from me to do something like that. So M Society, right, is actually a social impact business that we created. I created with a trader friend of mine, whereby we want to make financial literacy and even investing knowledge or trading knowledge, right, for that matter, to be accessible to people, right? Because as you know, whenever it comes to financial literacy or anything that do with financial, right, it's always very expensive, and at the same time, it's always not accessible to general public, so to speak as well. All the products, right, are mostly catered to the higher income. So, for example, like those in the sandwich class, like us, or those in just starting out working, or just those that like still on the average income but not fantastic. So this is where we wanted to provide them a solution, right, whereby they have to empower them with the knowledge, and so that they can actually make better decisions as well. And actually to help them with their overall income and all this, where they save for the future for their kids and everything as well. Yeah. So EmSociety basically stands for empowering society. So EM is for empower, and society is because we want to reach out to more people and actually to help the society and all this as well. So that's the meaning behind the name. In fact, if you look at our logo, right, the M is basically two person holding hand. Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of challenges as well. One thing that do with financial literacy, right? There's a lot of legal complications, right? And I'm so glad that because as part of the 360 community as well, and through Dawn and the community, right, I was referred to another lawyer, right, another believer and all this. So we work together to actually structure it such that it's more towards the education side. And at the same time, right, because we need to keep the cost low for our users and all this as well. I'm also very glad that another university of friend of mine, we were just talking about it, and he actually volunteered to help me to build my platform online as well at a much lower startup cost, actually, like especially for a system, right? And this system is quite amazing. For example, if there's any real-time trade that we're making, right, it actually notifies our users so that they can actually learn, right, in reality, right? And the startup cost was kept to quite a minimal amount as compared to, like, for example, when we source for budget outside, right, in the open market and all this. Then my website was also designed through help from like Dawn and the team from 360 as well. Yeah, there's definitely a few things, right? For example, right, we launched EmSociety just before the lockdown. Right, before the circuit breaker last year. In fact, we managed to do 2 sessions in 360. Right, we actually gathered them and all this. That's how we launch it. Then obviously everything else we have to pivot and all this as well. I had the model and all this. But I'm actually quite glad that we reached out to a few families and all this, all through referrals actually. We never really do any marketing, so to speak. Yeah, and we managed to really help some of the families and all this as well. They were quite surprised, first thing first, because it was so cheap. Secondly, through the financial crisis, last year was a very good chance for a lot of people to earn money. So yeah, so I was quite glad that that they actually thank us and everything, that like, oh, they managed to get something out of this, out of the COVID period and all this kind of stuff. And at the same time, like when we first started out, people thought that it was cheap, right? That it was a scam. That's another problem. Yeah. So we managed to gain some of their trust and everything. Then referral has been ongoing, which is great. But at the same time, we still don't spend on marketing. I think in the next few years, definitely, we are going to build on the content, right? At the same time, the focus is making it looks even more legit, so to speak. That people don't think that, like, just because it's $20 per month or something, that it's something cheap and it's something like a scam. So I think we have been partnering with a lot of even, like, for example, insurance agency. We've been helping training their insurance agents and all this kind of stuff. So we are focusing on reputation right now as well. So slowly to build it up, and so that we can really become like a movement, I guess. That's what I hope EmSociety to fulfill. I was invited to DMP by one of the person in a community called Dawn. And we actually met so we actually go to the same church and all this as well. And I was helping her with her stuff, right? She's doing a lot of stuff, if you know her, right? And I was helping her a lot of stuff. I was connecting her with a lot of different people, right? And then she knows what I was trying to do and all this as well. And she knows that because of this, sometimes we might need to do classes and everything, right? That we need a space. Uh, and because, right, ultimately it's still much of a social impact business. So she actually referred me to DM360. Yeah. So that's how I got to know the space. I used to book the rooms and everything, whereby because we do some classes and all this as well. So yeah, people were quite surprised that they thought that it's a church, but it's actually, oh yeah, so yeah, it's a Christian co-working space and all this as well. Yeah, so it was nice. And and I told them that so, like, for example, and it's a good place as well for startups like us. And we told them that, for example, like, we don't force you guys to pay anything, but it's good if you can give some donations and all this as well. Yes, I think earlier this year there was a gathering, so I was there and all this as well. And I think it was a good session actually, because we share a lot of stuff. So that's where I think SC and there was one more person I cannot remember. They realized that I'm from Boston Scientific and they are into medtech. So we had a long discussion on medtech and all this as well. And that's where I also share the vision that, like, I'm looking for a partner, right, for Boston Scientific to actually drive fintech stuff. So that's where, we spoke to Chris and all this as well. And then things just link up, I guess. Hmm. I think it was quite a no-brainer because, right, I know starting something is always not easy. So I think having a community and all this, I think it really helps a lot. Like, for example, in this case, right, through this person, I know the lawyer. Through this person, someone was designing for me stuff, right? And on top of my full-time job, right, without all this support and help, right, it's definitely not possible. Yeah, and I always think that it's good to take small steps at a time as well. Like now, I think we have 100 users. So it's a good small step and all this. And as we keep going on, this is where I think it's all thanks to the community, I guess. I think first thing first is I think we need to listen as well, right? And there's going to be a lot of pressure and all this kind of stuff as well. So I think keep praying for the direction, right? So long that you are always aligned to the Lord and all this, no matter what problems and everything, right? Somehow or some way there will be a solution for you, right? It might not be what you think it is, right? But have some faith and then just follow through.